Unisa vice-chancellor Professor Puleng Lenkabula says a report by an independent assessor is disrespectful. Compiled by Professor Themba Mosia, a report calls for the entire university management, including the vice-chancellor, to resign. The 309-page document paints a bleak picture of an institution that is marred by financial irregularities, irregular appointments, and a disregard for due processes. Newzroom Afrika's senior politics reporter Ziyanda Ngcobo had an exclusive interview with Professor Lenkabula and filed this report.
Unisa Vice-Chancellor Puleng Lenkabula says she's being lynched in the independent assessor's report on the basis of conjecture and not facts. Lenkabula says during her tenure, the institution's ranking as well as the financial reserves of the university have improved.
It posits the fact that the University of South Africa leadership is not competent. I think this is an aspersion, and this is quite disrespectful to the management of the university, given that they have expertise, they work hard, and all the indicators of the Council of Higher Education, which is a statutory institution in the country that evaluates the quality of teaching and learning in the university, its governance systems, its the assessment practices, but also its research and innovation.
According to Lenkabula, those who don't want to be held accountable are responsible for her being labelled as heavy-handed.
Under my leadership, Unisa has become number 7 and 8 in the rankings. You should look at the Times Higher Education rankings. You should look at the Department of Higher Education rankings. We are number 8 in the publications. We're not falling apart as the report is. Why would you take a number 8 or number 7 university and say it's collapsing? The processes of the university are very clear. There's no bullying. When people do not want to do the work that they have been hired to do, it's my responsibility as the manager and MENCOM responsibility to ensure that people do their work and the work that they are paid for, and by the taxes of the rich and the poor in this country. We're not going to apologize for holding people accountable to their work.
Lenkabula is incensed by the allegation that she's unduly increased employees' salaries and requested a renovation at the Vice-Chancellor's residence, where the price of curtains is said to have been inflated to around 300,000 rand.
Why is it pivotal for men and women to ask me about curtains as a woman leader? Do they ask men leaders or vice-chancellors about curtains?
But those curtains cost about 285,000.
Do they ask? Did I order curtains?
They said that you demanded them. You wanted these upgrades to your home. And that's also part of the malfeasance that the Mosia report had actually found.
I would hesitate.
That's what the report said.
I would hesitate to make a statement like that by yourself or even those newspapers, because I did not initiate the renovations of Clockrain House. The initiative of the renovations of the Clockrain House was done by the former Vice-Chancellor, Professor Makanya, who still lived in the house, at the University House, when I was already a Vice-Chancellor here. Go and ask him that question about the renovations.
On Monday, during the 150th anniversary of Unisa's existence, the Higher Education Minister conceded that he's concerned about issues such as the pass rate and business model of the institution, but he's still mulling over the recommendations.
Immediately now, I've got to respond to the report of the Ministerial testing, the independent assessor, as well as look at the response of the Unisa Council, including the response of the Vice-Chancellor, as well as comments from members of the public. When I published the Gazette, they decided to state their own views. And the sooner I do that, the better, but at the same time without overlooking or without paying particular attention to the report in its detail, as well as the responses in detail. So I hope not long from now, I will be able to pronounce on what is to be done.
The University of Pretoria has confirmed to Newzroom Afrika that the independent assessor who penned the scathing report into the affairs of Unisa, Themba Mosia, has now been appointed the interim vice-chancellor. This follows the swift resignation of the institution's former head, Tawana Kupe, who left shortly after facing allegations of sexual harassment. For Newzroom Afrika on Channel 405, I'm Ziyanda Ngcobo in Tshwane.